My vote for who's going to win this, I thought, first of all, I think Dragon Link's going to win. And also, specifically, I think Mike Thomas is going to win.
I got it! I got it! It's all very clear to me now, Mr. Krabs.
It is?
Yes! I finally realized that I can't do it! I can't do it, Mr. Krabs! I'm a failure!
Don't talk like that.
What's up, guys? We got third or fourth place somewhere in the top 4 at the RDI this weekend. We were undefeated in Swiss again, and then we lost the first round of Top Cut again. So the curse continues of winning Swiss, losing in Top Cut, but couldn't be happier with how the deck performed. We have won a prize card. First prize card I think I've officially won through Konami tournaments. And I'm very, very happy about it. I'm very excited. Konami put on an absolutely incredible event. Such an amazing experience to be a part of it. And I really hope I can just qualify for the next one because I want to play it again. I want to win. I want the trophy. I need something to put in the background. Twisty with the 100 bits. Thank you so much, friend. So we are going to switch over to the deck profile, and we're going to start that in just a moment. So before I begin that, we're going to do shout outs real quick, because you guys can see my lovely face when I thank you for all the help that you've given me. So first of all, shout outs to all of you guys, shout outs to Twitch, shout outs to the Discord community, shout outs to the YouTube, which we have now. We have a YouTube. We have almost 500 subscribers, which is crazy considering, we just repost stuff from Twitch. So shout outs to YouTube as well. You guys are crazy. I love you guys so much. Did we just upgrade the hype train again? Are we on like level 4? You guys are crazy. I love you guys. So shout outs to all of you guys. First of all, like, you guys are the reason I play Yu-Gi-Oh as much as I do. Like, I love the game. I love the community. I love all of you guys so much. Second most important shout out is to Corey, who, as many of you guys know, lent me most of the deck. He overnighted it to me along with our friend Vic. So they coordinated all the way in another state to overnight me my deck for the qualifiers, and then I still had it. So Friendship Dragons coming in once again to sweep up an entire tournament. Like, Friendship Dragons is so OP. Like, it's actually just disgusting how good Friendship is in Yu-Gi-Oh. And so shout outs to them. Then shout outs, of course, to all of my friends on Team Playmakers for supporting me, helping me so much with the event, and talking with me, spending God knows how many hours discussing theory and whatnot with me. All my friends from TMW as well. And not only that, but then huge special shout outs to Ryan Yu and N3sh, who helped me deck build and prepare for the event. So you guys were so helpful. You guys have no idea how much better I felt about myself knowing I had the deck building prowess of the Ryan Yu and the Italian Papa himself, N3sh, helping me behind my deck. So shout outs to you guys. And also just shout outs to everybody that messaged me over the weekend. Like, I got so many messages just of support and love from you guys. You guys are fantastic. So we're going to switch over to the deck profile now. And you guys are going to get to see this really awesome... Brenda subscribed! Brenda's woken up. Okay, Brenda was asleep. I texted her. Hi, Brenda. No shout outs? Oh, also shout outs to the lovely girlfriend. I mean, like, obviously, like... Shh. Nobody point that out. Nobody point that out. We're cutting that from the YouTube video. No, you missed your chance. Oh, damn it. But thank you, Brenda. I guess I should shout out my mom too. Shout outs, mom. Shout outs to the family. Shout outs to Brenda. Brenda's basically family, so shout outs to the family. Point out what exactly. So we're gonna switch over to the deck profile now. We're gonna hop straight into it. Oh wait, I'm still in studio mode. Okay, so here we are. We now have a top-down camera because I'm using equipment from the RDI. But part of my welcome gift, because you get two gifts from Konami playing in the RDI. You get a welcome package, like you get a gift bag basically that includes this lovely mat, these sleeves, and the arm camera. Like, you get like a camera stand that Konami just gives you. They're like, here, play more remote duels and make it look nice too. So they sent me that. So huge shout outs to Konami on that one. I'm just overjoyed by this event. Like this was so much fun. I want to do this again. I kind of don't want COVID to end because I feel like it will mean the end of remote duels. And God, I love this format. I love remote duels. So here we are, Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio Duelist. We're going to start off with this deck profile. We're going to start with the Handtraps because I played a little bit of an unconventional Handtrap lineup for this tournament. And that started by playing 3 copies of Skullmeister in the main deck. And so the reason for this is, oh, I forgot to shout him out too. Shout outs to Lund, specifically London Jabaro, for kind of collecting data on. I literally had a note to myself. I'm so upset about this. I had a note to myself to shout out Jabaro and Lundridity, but I forgot. So shout outs to them. But they went through this very painstaking task of tracking down everyone's deck lists from the qualifiers. So I had so much intel going into this event. I was like, there are a lot of Prank Kids and a lot of Dinosaur that qualified. I feel like there's going to be a lot of Prank Kid and Dinosaur that are staying in this event. And I watched a lot of the deck profiles going into the event from the qualifiers. And Nor Team Grim. Oh, also shout out to GrimYGO. Actually, that's why we're starting so late, is because I was just on the phone with GrimYGO like a second ago. Like, doing another deck profile. So there's gonna be 2 versions of this, a cleaner version of this and the messy version that you guys get to see right now. But anyway, we wanted to play 3 Skullmeister because of how much Prank Kid and Dinosaur was in the tournament. So we expected to see a lot of them, and we were very right on that call. I think there was 4 Prank Kid and 4 Dino respectively. So to round out this anti Prank Kid Dino hand trap lineup, we played every hand trap that interacts with both a Prank Kid name and Miscellaneousaurus. We played literally every single one of them. So we made Skullmeister, Ash, and Gamma all at 3 instead of the hand traps that we would normally play for decks like Shadal Invoked, because I noticed that there were none of them in the qualifying brackets, and there were none of them in the tournament either. Hand trap lineup was pretty solid, I would say. Fortunately, I dodged all the Prank Kids and only played against Dinosaur in Top Cut, where these hand traps would have been really good if I had drawn them after game 1 when I went first and made a board. But besides that, I'm glad I played them. They're good. Gamma came up a few times for me, so and I wasn't originally playing Gamma. Ryan had to convince me to play it, so it was good. Did you ever get high on the turn 1 Gamma on your own turn? No, that never happened. So Gamma is actually really bad going first in this deck, specifically because of the next 3 cards that we play, which are 3 copies of Black Metal Dragon. So unlike older versions of Dragon Link, we no longer play 3 Seifert, boys and girls. We no longer play 3 Seifert. We play 3 Black Metal Dragon now because we expected there to be a lot of Droll and Lockbird in the tournament because of, yeah, exactly. Like this is the anti-Droll and Lockbird version of the deck, and Droll we expected would be played in all of the decks because all of the decks lose to Dragon Link. Like every deck loses to Dragon Link, and I think a lot of players were afraid of Drytron coming into the tournament, even though I don't think there was really much reason to be afraid of it. But I heard a lot of players saying that they were afraid of it like during the weekend. So I think probably everybody was maining Droll and Lockbird would be my guess. Like if I were to guess, everybody main decked it. So I wanted to play a version of Dragon Link that could play through Droll and Lockbird very easily. So Black Metal is obviously the best normal summon against a Droll and Lockbird. But as we saw on the live stream, it also makes our deck a little bit worse against Artifact Lancia, which normally is not a problem for the deck. But 3 Black Metal is really good. I love drawing it all weekend. Like, this card is phenomenal. Like, definitely the way to play Dragon Link right now. Like, definitely the way to play Dragon Link right now. Then we played 2 Seyfert now to accommodate because we were playing 3 black metal, so we can't play 3 Seyfert anymore. So we played 2. I never missed the 3rd one. Seyfert did its job when it needed to, but for the most part, black metal kind of stole the show this weekend. But Seyfert still exists. Seyfert exists. Seyfert's good. For the Rockets, we played the 2 Tracer, the 2 Synchron, and Recharger. So obviously we played, obviously you play the 1 Recharger. Like, we played 2 last time, but for spacing reasons, we can't afford to play a second one anymore. I played the 2 Synchron. I'm not sure how I feel about 2 Synchron right now, to be perfectly honest. I actually kind of wanted to cut it to 1, but with how much like Prank Kid and back row decks like Tri Brigade that were in the tournament, I felt it was safer to play 2 Synchron and just give myself a better grind game if I needed it. Similarly, as for Tracer, we play 2 because you never need more than 5 copies of it with 3 quick launch, 2 Tracer, but you know, maybe we want to bump it up to 6 in the future going forward because, you know, if this deck is trying to beat Drone Lockbird, you still full combo them if you open Black Metal plus Tracer. Like, you still get full combo if you do that. The only thing you lose is tidying, so instead you just make the, sometimes you can make the Apollo board, but usually you'll just go for Savage, Spheres, and Hot Red plus Pepega. So you know, maybe we'll bump this up to 3 in the future, just because it works so nicely. There's so much synergy with the deck concept, but you never need more than 2, so we just played the 2. Then for the 1-ofs, we played White and Black, Red MD, Router, Levy, Brotar, and Chambermaid. So the 1-ofs aren't particularly interesting, really. I think the 3 that I will talk about are probably these 3. I guess I can talk about Absolrouter like briefly. So Absolrouter, it gets a little bit, both Absolrouter and Red MD get a little bit worse in this list because we're not playing any other level 7 dragons to search. So in testing, I kept drawing Absolrouter plus Seyfert as my only 2 dragons in my hand. And I couldn't play because I didn't have like a Nocto, I didn't have anything I could search. So like, I didn't even have Phantasme just to trigger and get the Tracer. So that was a little bit concerning in testing, but I just said, you know, statistically that's probably not going to happen, and it didn't, thankfully. So you know, and then Red MD now is just a Garnet because it just makes your new normal summon worse, but it's still Red MD, like it's still a good card to draw. But it's just a little bit more unfortunate now than when you draw Red MD than it was before, because you're trying to keep it in your deck to search it off of Black Metal. Chamber, obviously you just play 1 copy because you don't really want to normal summon this card so much as you just summon it off of LP during combos. So just the 1 copy, and it makes the siding pattern nice, as we've talked about before here on the channel. So just still the 1. Now, the one that I think is actually interesting to talk about is Brotar, because I have been convinced that Brotar is not as good as it used to be. Brotar's heyday is over. Brotar is bad is the bottom line. We still play Brotar because of how much Prank Kid there I was expecting. Brotar is one of the few ways that you can play through a Battle Butler board if they let you get to Romulus. So if for whatever reason you put 2 monsters on the field and they don't do anything about it, you can make Romulus, get Dragon Ravine, put this boy in your graveyard, and now as soon as they Battle Butler you get back Brotar and you have 2 monsters again. Because you can just search sometimes like a Collapse Serpent or, you know, a Levianeer or whatever you need, you can get it off of Brotar and you're back in the game. So we still played it for this event, But it was important that I was convinced that Brotar is not as necessary as it used to be in this event, because we actually started siding it out, and because we are playing the Gammas now, because we're playing Gamma, we now can side out the Brotar, or it makes the siding pattern weird. So because we're playing Gamma, it makes the siding pattern kind of weird, because you have, normally you would be siding out in patterns of 3, but with Gamma, you're given a random 4th dead card in your deck that you can't take out, the driver. So that slot now would usually be a card that you would side out, and now you can't side out that card. So during the siding pattern, I would now sometimes side out Brotar along with a Synchron and one of the black metals when I would go second. So I'm very glad that I was convinced that this card is not as necessary as it used to be, and I wanted to mention that because this card is now part of the side out core. Moving on to our spell cards now, we play 3 copies of Chaos Space. Obviously you play 3 Chaos Space, this card's broken. It's like a +1 to +2. Almost always, you can build off Pega, just get free draws, and it starts your engine, so one of the best cards in the deck. Quick Launch is just emergency teleports, but for dragons. There's no reason not to play 3 of this card. This card's absolutely broken. Then, the best card in the deck, in my mind, or at least my favorite card in the deck, is World Legacy Guard Dragon, because as we've seen time and time again on the channel here on the Twitch, if you have World Legacy Guard Dragon plus a Dragon Tuner, you have lethal. Like, it doesn't matter if they have Nibiru, it doesn't matter what Handtraps they have. 9 times out of 10, you have lethal or you have full combo. So this card just lets you play through so much. It makes your deck ceiling go from like already the highest ceiling deck in the game to just the highest ceiling deck in a different game. Like this card is crazy. Like, this card is absolutely ridiculous. And for any of those who don't play Dragon Link like a lot, or if you're a newer Dragon Link player or something, if you just normal summon your tuner, or you go into Striker and then you reborn it with Guard Dragon, you make Needle Fiber, you summon Synchron from your deck, you already have full combo, and then you can just special summon out the Red MD gets something back. You already have Boral Sword plus Pisty just gets back your Red MD, and that's already what, 11,800 damage off of a 2-card combo. You still have 4 cards in your hand to interact with and to extend, to combo, do whatever. So if you didn't know that, if you don't use World Legacy Guard Dragon just immediately put 11k damage on the field, start doing that, because I think I won almost every single match doing that. Like, every single time that I drew this card, I won the duel because I summoned Needle Fiber and made a Boral Sword. Like, every single duel where I drew this card going second. So, absolutely crazy. For the last 2 spells, we play the 2 field spells. You search them, they do exactly what you want them to. Boot Sector Launch turns every rocket monster in the game into an extender, which is fantastic. And Dragon Ravine is Foolish Burial, but you can search it, so it's good. And then the last 2 cards we played were the 2 copies of Tidying. I'll talk briefly on why I didn't play the Dragoonity version of the deck, and I chose to play the Tidying version. Tidying not only gives me another point of interaction with my opponent, being able to bounce cards twice, but it also means that my deck has a better matchup against Mystic Mine. And as I've mentioned, Dinosaur and Prank Kid were 2 of the most represented decks in the tournament. They're the ones that I was the most prepared for. And both of those decks are decks that tend to like to play Mystic Mine. And Mystic Mine is actually a very good card in Lightning Overdrive format. So I was very afraid of getting locked underneath a Mystic Mine. I think Henko, I didn't get a chance to see what Henko was playing exactly because I didn't play against him. But I think he was playing a 60-card Prank Kid deck with Demise of the Land for Mystic Mine. So I wanted to have outs in my main deck, 2 Mystic Mines, I wanted to have outs to cards like Mega Clops. I wanted to have, you know, just in-engine outs to problematic cards. And I just wanted to have a very flexible version of the deck. And I didn't really think I needed the additional power of the extra deck block. For the synchros, we play our 3 standard synchros of Borreload, Papega, and Hot Red. Papega Hot Red, in my mind, have recently been the kind of the favorite child relative to Borreload. I feel I'm not making this card nearly as much as I used to. I feel like I'm oftentimes just going for these more often, and I don't know if that's just a personal thing or if that just is the correct play, but the ability to, you know, mill 5 cards, add one of them to your hand, and then put a negate on top of it is really strong. No Scarlight, as Twiz notices. Yeah, we are not playing the win in time card. We're not playing the funny card this time, because prank kids were just gonna beat us in time anyway. So yeah, no funny card. But these are just so good. You know, I actually, like, 9 times out of 10, I prefer summoning the Hot Red if I can. Not only because it gives you the extra chance to play around Dark Ruler No More if you have a copy of Tidying in your graveyard, but it also, if say your board gets broken, like let's say they Dark Ruler you successfully, they full clear your entire board and they pass. I've seen so many players think that Dragon Link does not have a way to play on the next turn. If you do that to them, they might have like 1 interaction and you can just say like, okay, summon a dragon, make Striker Dragon, pop myself, recharger, anything? They'll say, oh, no, you're good. And you just bring this back. You just get them back, and now you have a negate again. So when possible, I prefer to make the Hot Red, but, you know, Savage is still, it's there because it's the easier one to make. Then for the Link monsters, for our well-named Dragon Link deck, we play 3 Striker Dragon. The 3 copies of Striker Dragon are obviously, like, essential. They're mandatory. Some people try to get away with playing 2 Striker Dragon. You can't do that. You have to play 3 copies of it. The first one is your play starter. All of your plays require you to start with a Striker Dragon at some point. The second one is part of the combo. You use it when popping your LP and getting back your recharger. And the third one is your follow-up play. If you do not play the third one, your deck loses to a copy of Dark Ruler No More. We then play 2 copies of Sphere. Sphere is, unlike Striker Dragon, cuttable. You can get away with playing 1 Sphere, and then the second Sphere can be something like a Beat Cop, for example. But Beat Cop comes up more against decks like Dogmatica when they activate your punishment. You can usually play around punishment by putting a Tracer on your field, and then when they flip punishment, you can use your Tracer to pop whatever they target and play around it. But that dark locks you, so you would play Beat Cop for that. But we didn't expect any Dogmatica, and there was no Dogmatica, so it was good that I didn't play it, I guess. Like, Spheres is just the best Link 2 for the grind game. It gets you your resources, it bounces a card, so I'm happy I played it. I didn't expect anybody would contact see me, so I didn't think that not having the Link 2 for Contact C would be much of a problem. Our next 2 cards in the deck profile is the LP and Pisty. They are the cards that allow you to do your Guard Dragon combos, and I'm sad because I feel like we might have finally got an LP banned this weekend. I've been trying to get this card banned for like 3 years by doing well with this deck, but apparently this might be the last time. Because what is this, like the 3rd RDI where Dragon is just like dominated? 2nd or 3rd? Like I don't know. Like, I'm gonna be sad if this card gets banned. For the Link 2, hug LP because you put it in jail. Exactly. For the Link 2s, we played Romulus, Quad Boral, and Hulk. And you know, usually these don't come up as much. Romulus is usually the only one that you summon on turn 1, except in weird circumstances, like you saw during the feature match in Top Cut, where I had to make this in order to combo. But usually you're only summoning Romulus turn 1 if you're making the Apollo board, which personally I have been doing more often, so I make this a lot going first now. But these are usually the two that you make going second, and then Quad Boral, you usually only make this card to play through Nibiru. Like this card almost always is just used to play through Nibiru. Sometimes you make it in the mid game against Tri Brigade if you're down in resources, but Tri Brigade is such an easy matchup. Tri Brigade is such an easy matchup against or for Dragon Link that you know, like it's so rare that you ever actually need to make the Quad Boral to pop their Shurag and Soul Charge for free. And then for the last two cards in the extra deck, we play Boral Sword and Apollo. Boral Sword is obviously your main win condition in the deck to attack for lethal. It's also relevant for at Ignister, which I thought that there could be in the tournament, but there wasn't, thankfully. But that was part of why I wanted to play Dragon, is because I didn't know how Pure Zoo or Drytron would beat the Link 6 at Ignister monster. But for Dragon Link, it's very simple. You just summon Boral Sword and you attack it, and it dies. So Boral Sword's a good card. We love Boral Sword. For the side deck, we played the 3 Droll and Lockbird, the 3 Nibiru, and then the 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. These cards were in the side deck specifically because of Dragon Link being a deck that I have to respect, even though our main deck was not tailored to be the mirror match, because we did not expect so many of it in the tournament. Dark Ruler and Droll specifically are good for the Scrap Dinosaur deck. I did draw the Dark Ruler against Scrap Dinosaur in Top Cut, but unfortunately they were playing a copy of Imperial Order in their deck, and we lost because of the Imperial Order. I think I had 4 spells in my hand, and I just couldn't play, which was unfortunate, but you know, those things happen. And then for the last 3 cards in the side, we played the 3 Twin and 3 Lightning Storm. So originally my side deck, before I put the Skullmeisters in the main deck and moved the Drolls into the side, originally I was also siding 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone because of how much back row I expected there to be in this tournament. I'm pretty glad that I didn't do that because this was more than sufficient. But the reasoning was that Prank Kid is so hard to prepare for as a Dragon Link player, because you have to be afraid of both of the main engine itself with the Prank Kid cards, and you have to be afraid of the back row that they actually play. And a lot of the Prank Kids players in the tournament, I actually noticed were playing a lot of additional back row. So like normally the deck list plays just like 3 There Can Only Be One, and that's it. But quite a few of the Prank Kids that I saw in the tournament were also playing cards like Solemn Strike, Skill Drain, Metaverse, Demise of the Land, stuff like that in their main decks, and like Judgments. Like, it was very trap heavy Prank Kid. So I knew that I wanted to have cards that would deal with that. Twin Twister is the only card in the game that deals, or that works both as a way to deal with the Prank Kid engine, being Pandemonium, and as just serving as back row clear, like back row hate in general. So we played Twin for that. Lightning Storm I played because just because of the sheer amount of back row I expected. I didn't think Cosmic Cyclone would be strong enough for just the amount of back row. I think this is the right call. I don't think I actually ever activated Lightning Storm. I drew it a few times, but I think every time I drew it, I pitched it off of Twin Twister, funnily enough. But I did play against 2 Tri Brigade Zodiac decks, and back row hate was just insane against them. I might have had this against one of the Tri-Zoos. Maybe I got judgmented. I don't know. I don't really remember the Tri-Zoo games that well. I 2-0'd them very quickly, so I don't remember it very well. So yeah, that was the deck. I had fun. Shoutouts to Ryan Yu, shoutouts to N3sh, shoutouts to Playmakers and TMW, all the homies from there. Shoutouts, of course, to Corey for sending me the deck, and also shoutouts to you guys. I love you guys. You guys are the best. I would not be doing the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff without all of you guys here on Twitch.
Yeah. GG's. Wow.